Hey, Nickel here. Happy New Year. How are your habits coming along? If you haven't had any ideas for habits, I've got 19 ideas for 2019. And I also have a method that is foolproof. A lot of people are skeptical about this, but it's foolproof. Hang with me. Okay, so the method is you have 2 levels of commitment to your habits. So you have your goal, your daily goal, like what you want to accomplish every day, and then you have a bare minimum that's a little bit, that's just like so simple, you can literally do it every day. Because it'll take 1 minute, it takes 0 effort. And the idea here is you're gonna do your habit every day, even if you don't have time. And the reality is you need to put it in, your habits need to be every day in order to keep going. You need to put it in, this is my opinion, you might disagree. Some people like weekly habits or whatever, but daily habits are where it's at, right? So you put it in your day, every day, and then no matter what, you do a small little low commitment. Okay, so I got some examples for that. Playing guitar. You want to learn how to play guitar? Pick up your guitar every day. No matter, you don't have to play a whole song, just pick it up, play a chord, right? And then maybe stretch that a little bit to all the chords you know. If you know like 8 chords, play all 8 chords. If you know 100 chords, maybe that's a little overkill. But doing chords, scales, and arpeggios on whatever instrument you want to play, do that every day. I'm doing that right now. I started picking up bass again. I haven't played bass for a whole year. I went to school for bass, for I was gonna swear. But yeah, so I'm having a great time. Just 20 minutes a day, gonna play some scales, play some arpeggios, and then groove out a little bit. And then no matter how busy I am, I still got those 20 minutes. And even if I don't have 20 minutes, I could just pick it up and play a scale. Okay, so that's an example. Let's go rapid fire through all these stuff. Singing. Do vocal exercises every day. At least hold a note, sustained note, right? Or sing a scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I'm also working on my singing, so please be gentle there. Writing. Some people are big, like I write every week or whatever. I'm a huge believer that writing especially should be a daily habit. It doesn't have to be. There's plenty of writers that only make time once a week to write, and they publish books and they're famous and stuff like that. But if you really want to get good at something, do it every day. So write every day, do 5-minute, do a writing prompt. Writing prompts, I'm going to put resources for all these things down below, but writing prompts, the subreddit is phenomenal. Do whatever the top listed thing every day is, and you'll get so much better. Drawing. Draw something every day. Just pick up a pen and put it to paper. Right now I'm also working on drawing, and I have a to-do list book, right, that has all these to-do lists. And I rip off the page, and then the next day I have a little piece of paper and I draw something on there every day. And that's part of my daily routine. It takes me 5 minutes, and I'm working on my drawing skills. And also the whole idea of this is that when you go to sleep, your brain reorganizes itself. I'm not editing this, so you're going to get all of my blast. Your brain reorganizes itself, and it takes everything that it learned that day, and it makes you better the next day at that thing. So even if you only have 5 minutes to work on whatever it is, like drawing, you're going to be better at that thing tomorrow. Okay, moving on. YouTube, just like doing something on YouTube. If you want to do YouTube, I want to do YouTube. I'm just doing a quick video. I'm not editing this. I'm just going to throw it up there, right? So that I can get more in the habit of making these things. Instead of getting in the habit of making excuses to not do these things. Knitting, pick up your needles. Knit something, do a row, right? You don't have to do a whole scarf every day. Exercise. Exercise is great. So there's different kinds of things. Like I'm a big believer of home exercises. You can do push-ups every day. Just how many push-ups can you do? 20, 40, 5 push-ups, and then sit-ups. Do like there's some really cool ab routines that you can get in video form or in app form, and then 5 minutes of abs, intense abs, is a whole workout of abs. It's pretty crazy. So in 10 to 15 minutes a day, you can get basically a full body exercise. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. And then if you have more time than that, you can do more. But if you don't have any time, do 1 push-up and 1 sit-up. Done. Yoga. Do a yoga exercise. Just do a stretch. have the yoga mat. Like my wife, she has a yoga mat out all the time, and that's kind of nice. So we have a little yoga spot in our apartment, and you can just go there and do a yoga stretch. Simple. If you don't have it out, you just roll it out quick, right? You don't even have to. That can be your minimum thing. You don't actually have to do anything on the mat. Just roll it out. And then part of this I forgot to mention earlier is that when you're doing these things, even when you do the low commitment stuff, a lot of times it's like foot in the door technique. You're gonna want to do more than just that bare minimum, but some days you're only gonna have the time and energy to do the bare minimum. Okay. Gym, there's so many different, you can just walk to the gym. If you walk to the gym and walk back, that's kind of like a mini workout by itself. I don't know how close you are to the gym. Maybe you gotta drive, but you can drive there and drive back. Or you can, the very bare minimum, you can just put on your gym clothes. You just get dressed like as if you're ready to go to the gym. You don't actually have to leave the apartment if you don't have that motivation. But once you get, and then after a half hour, if you didn't go to the gym, take the gym clothes off. Very simple, instead of staying in your gym clothes all day. And that kind of gets you into the routine, like, okay, that's a half hour, then I'm wearing my gym clothes. And then eventually you're gonna feel a little silly wearing gym clothes, taking them off, and that might help you go to the gym too. Let's see here. Reading is a great one. Reading is a wonderful way to expand your brain, nonfiction or fiction. Right now I have 2 reading routines. I have a nonfiction reading routine in the evening after dinner when I used to be watching television. Upgraded that habit to a nonfiction reading habit. And then before bed, part of my wind down routine is I read a chapter of fiction. I'm reading, if you're curious, I'm reading Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Wonderful. And I'm also reading Lord of the Rings, which is so good. I love every word of that. Some people are like, oh, it's too wordy. I love every word. Anyways. Reflection time. You should have 5 minutes of your day just to kind of reflect on yourself. And that's a great time to journal as well. Or you can just space out and think about what you want to do with your life, where you want to go, how you're going, what are the issues in your life, and trying to like schedule that time in so that you're not like reflecting all day. You know, if you're thinking about if you're worried about stuff all the time, then you're going to be distracted from other things. Oh, that's a squirrel. Speaking of distractions, there's a squirrel. The squirrels here in this park don't seem to care about humans, so they get very close. Okay, and then there's some other things like being nicer, right? Some people, it's not just about, so how can you do something abstract like be nicer and actually put it into your daily routine? You have to put stuff into your daily routine. You have to spend time on stuff. So for being nicer, heartfulness meditation, aka meta meditation, is wonderful. So that is like, take the person you hate the most in the world. It could be someone like a political figure, or it could be someone that's actually like a work colleague, or someone from school, or someone in your family. I don't know. And then spend 5 minutes of your day wishing them well. And you can follow guided meditations for it. And that can help you be nicer to that person. But most importantly, being nicer to other people is easier when you're nicer to yourself. I've talked to a lot of people who are saying, well, I'm mean. I'm so mean. Well, I don't feel like you're mean. Like, you're not mean to me. It's like, no, you don't understand. I'm so mean. It's like, well, you're kind of being mean to yourself by calling yourself mean. And that very idea that that you want to be nice, that's a decision that you make. And if you keep making that decision every day, you're gonna practice being nice, and you're gonna be nicer by natural. But it starts with yourself. So like, you can just like look in the mirror and say nice things about yourself that are genuine and true, or whatever, you know? And that will, believe it or not, that will make you nicer to other people when you're nicer to yourself. Being less angry, so CBT yourself. CBT is basically, there's a lot of different techniques. I forget what this one's called, but basically every time you get angry, because I've talked to a lot of people, like, well, they just have an uncontrollable amount of anger. So just write out every time that you get angry, and write out why you're angry, what prompted it, and how does that relate to you? A lot of our anger comes from traumas in our past. A lot of anger comes from failings that we feel about ourselves. Like, we're angry at ourselves, and when someone else does that same thing, we get mad at them because, again, we're mad at ourselves first. So if you're nice to yourself, you can be nice to other people. But really get at the root, and then just do it all the time. Just like literally make it a daily habit. End of the day or throughout the day, you can keep a notebook in your back pocket, like one of those little, they're like $2 at CVS or whatever. And then you can keep it in your pocket, and then you can just jot down what made you angry when, or you can schedule at the end of your day and jot down what made you angry that day. Do that long enough, and it will, you'll figure out patterns, and and you can be strategic, like, okay, this is the pattern, and that's what I'm going to do. So, that's a daily habit. You have to break these down into something you can do every day, something that you can do, like the 100-day challenge or whatever, the Red X challenge, and then you can mark off, I did that thing today, these abstract ones. I had a couple more, but my phone just was tweaking out because it's cold. Eating healthier. This is pretty simple. Eat a vegetable. Eat a piece of fruit every day. An extra piece of, if you eat fruit, eat an extra piece of fruit or extra vegetable. You can chop carrots, which one thing that I'm doing is I just slice up some carrots, and then I have those ready to go so they're nice and easy, so when I'm hungry, I can just grab them out of the fridge and I don't have to worry about anything. And then I have hummus there, so I just dip in my hummus. Great, right? So then that's in place of like cheese and crackers and hummus. And so it's a little bit healthier than that because it's a vegetable. And also I'm trying to eat, I get very hungry in the afternoons, and so I try to use that as like a fruit, just eat some fruit because I think it's my blood sugar is getting low, so eating that fruit helps that. Cooking more. So I hear you, it's hard to cook every day, but you can cook, you can at least plan your cooking every day. I find that it's way easier to eat healthier if I have ideas of recipes in mind to try, and I have a grocery list, so when I go to the grocery store, I'm not thinking, because a lot of times in the past, like it's like I know I need to cook stuff, but it's like, oh, I just need to get groceries, I don't have time to like sit down and find a recipe. But if you're doing 5 minutes a day of finding recipes, and you can watch YouTube videos from cooking channels, you can just browse certain blogs or whatever and find some stuff. Just spend 5 minutes, and then save that stuff, write stuff down on a piece of paper, make a little grocery list. And then when it's grocery day, you can go and you're like, okay, I'm gonna make this recipe, I need these ingredients, it's ready to go. And it's gonna be a lot easier to cook that way. So that's like kind of a way. Lately, my wife and I have just been cooking fresh food almost every night. We just schedule that time in. I find that's wonderful. Like I used to think like I don't have time to cook every day, but it's just nice. It's nice to have fresh food all the time, and then leftovers for lunch the next day, kind of thing. Decluttering, very simple. Every day, pick up one thing. That's the bare minimum. That's all you need to do. Pick up one thing, and you've decluttered a little bit today, a little bit more than nothing, right? And then you might say, well, okay, I can grab this other stuff. Another cool habit for decluttering is just not putting stuff down where it's not supposed to go. It's putting it in its place. So if you, instead of I'll always take my socks off and just throw it on the floor, but if I'm standing in it or something like that, I can just pick up those socks and put them in the hamper instead, right? Or if I come home, I want to drop everything on the floor. But if I take an extra bit of energy and actually put whatever, like my backpack, where it's supposed to go, then the house just the apartment stays kind of clean throughout the day. Confidence. The secret to confidence is putting yourself out there and learning as you go. And the more, so take more chances on yourself. Every day, do something that scares you, and you'll become more confident over time. You can also give yourself little pep talks in the mirror. So you can kill two birds with one stone if you're pep talking yourself in the mirror and saying nice things about yourself. And then lastly, Skillshare. I do have a Skillshare link. It is down below in case you need it. I know everyone's like, this video is sponsored by Skillshare. I'm not really sponsored by it. I just use it and I love it. And I actually paid for a full year. And I love it. It's great. I use it every day. So if you want to get better at skills, you could do a Skillshare trial for 2 months. That's what I got below. And you can spend 6 minutes a day watching a video on whatever you want to learn. And they got all kinds of cool stuff. Okay, so those are my 19. Oh, that was the bonus one, the Skillshare one. But so 19 and a bonus one examples. What do you guys think? What do you think about this? Are you skeptical about this idea of just taking something and breaking it down into like a super basic commitment? I think it's a brain hack. I think people don't think it can be that simple, but it is that simple. Like there's so many things about making your life better that are so simple. You just gotta break it down into a way that you just gotta simplify it, but it's simple. Anyways, thank you. I'll see you guys around. What are your habits this year, and what's your game plan? Love to hear about it. Okay, peace out. Have a good one. Bye.